A warning tonight from a woman who was paralyzed after cosmetic surgery.
Rolanda Hutton will never walk again.
It's very traumatic. It's like you never think about not being able to walk.
I had 10 different bacterias. 2 of them were mortal bacterias that could have killed me.
Today is March 15th. Today makes 4 years that my mom, my siblings, and I lost my little sister who was only 22 years old.
A mum of 5 is thought to have become the first person to die from a liquid Brazilian butt lift in the UK. 34-year-old Alice Webb died in hospital after getting the cosmetic procedure, which involves injection of hyaluronic acid and dermal fillers instead of surgery.
1 in 3,000 BBL patients dies on the table. Surgeons are calling it the most dangerous operation in existence, not just in cosmetic surgery, in all of medicine. Women are going in for a routine procedure and never coming home to their kids. And the people performing these surgeries, some of them aren't even qualified doctors. In this video, we are going through the real stories, the medical facts, and the industry secrets that clinics are hoping you never find out. This is what nobody is telling you.
4 years ago, my sister decided she wanted to go have surgery, have her body done. After giving birth to her little boy, she felt that having surgery was the answer for her to feel better about herself, even though she was so beautiful and she didn't need anything done to herself. So she went to a doctor in Matamoros, Mexico, and died at his hands. She died on the table while he was performing surgery on her. She went to have a BBL, and so many things went wrong. The reason we know is because we had an autopsy done on her body, and so many things were wrong. Not 1 or 2, but so many more things were wrong. He messed up tremendously on her, and it cost her her life. I still talk about this 4 years later because I want women to know that it's not worth it. I wish I would have been able to talk to my sister more about it, but she didn't tell me anything. She made that decision and she kept it from her sisters because she was convinced that it's what she needed, when in reality that wasn't what she needed.
When I first woke up, they were asking me to move and I couldn't feel my legs.
We first told you her story back in November 2017. Then she sued the doctor who performed the surgery. But now she and her lawyer have amended the lawsuit to include other doctors who perform surgeries at the Institute and the Cloister, which is a post-operation hotel run by the same doctors who do the surgeries. They send patients there for recovery.
Patients are being sent to this so-called hotel, which is really a skilled nursing facility that's not licensed, not regulated by the state.
Hutton says she spent 2 days at the Cloister and says the staff there should have sent her to a hospital the moment she told them she could not feel her legs.
After the second day, I was like, something's wrong. I need to go to the hospital because I still can't move my legs, and it's been 2 days.
Her lawyer says Hutton isn't the only one who suffered severe consequences. He claims in 2009, a woman died after a facelift while at the Cloister.
This place needs to be regulated or shut down, or you're going to see more people that have been hurt.
Both in 2017 and today, we asked the Dallas Plastic Surgery Institute and its lawyers for comment. They did not respond. As for Hutton, she wants her story to serve as a warning to others of what can happen.
Rest in peace to the New York City police officer that died in Colombia a week after she got her BBL surgery. Now, guys, this is not the first time we've heard of somebody passing away after their surgery. She did pass away from a cardiac arrest. Alicia Stone is her name. And she was discovered unconscious in her hotel room. Crazy.
A family searching for answers after a 26-year-old mother died following a popular cosmetic procedure.
As NBC6 investigator Miriam Masihi learned, Janisha Williams never woke up from the anesthesia. Now the state is taking action against the surgery center and the doctor in charge.
Janisha Williams was a photographer, a wife, mother to 2 young children, and her sister's best friend.
She was very caring and always knew what to say.
On October 20th of last year, the 26-year-old, known to most people as Jayla, traveled from Hillsborough County, Florida to Best You Now Cosmetic Surgery Center in Plantation for a breast augmentation and a Brazilian butt lift, or BBL. Her mother flew from California to be by her side.
I was asking every hour, how's my daughter doing? How things going? And they kept telling me, she's okay. Everything is fine.
But Latasha says she started worrying when all the other patients were discharged and Jayla wouldn't come out. Then she heard a siren.
The ambulance pulled up. That's when I said, excuse me, can somebody tell me what's going on?
According to the medical examiner, at around 8 p.m., the procedure was completed, but Jayla never awoke from the anesthesia. Latasha says the doctor and nurses approached her as her daughter was being transported next door to Plantation General Hospital.
They politely grabbed me and said, your daughter is dead.
While the medical examiner's report lists the cause of death as undetermined, the health department has filed administrative complaints against the surgery center licensed as Serenity Capital Investments LLC, The Best You Now, and Dr. John Edward Nees, the designated physician for the surgery center, claiming they allowed a doctor who was not a qualified anesthesia provider to sedate Jayla.
In Medicare regulations, physicians are allowed to give anesthesia, but in practice, that does not happen.
And in Florida, the standard of care rules require surgeons use a qualified anesthesia provider like an anesthesiologist or a certified registered nurse anesthetist to administer anesthesia. In Jayla's case, Dr. Millicent Muir, an OBGYN who is restricted from practicing that specialty for an unrelated complaint, administered the anesthesia. While the center has several anesthesia providers on record, she is not one of them. Instead, she is listed as recovery personnel. But according to the state's complaint, she was employed to provide anesthesia for patients. The day we went to The Best You Now, Dr. Muir was locking up the place and said she didn't want to go on camera, but told me she had taken some courses in anesthesiology.
Anesthesiology is a recognized medical specialty.
Though he can't speak on Jayla's case, the president of the American Society of Anesthesiologists says the training is rigorous.
So you become an anesthesiologist, you would do 4 years of undergraduate school, then you would do 4 years of medical school like all other specialists. And then after the 4 years of medical school, there is another 4-year period of residency training.
In their complaint, the Department of Health is asking the center's registration be suspended or revoked and that Dr. Nees also be penalized. Jayla's family says nobody from the center has reached out to them as they mourn her loss and try to console her 5- and 2-year-old children.
It's hard, ma'am. It's hard. They ask, can they go to heaven to see their mom? They don't understand.
These aren't isolated incidents. These are mothers, daughters, sisters, women in their 20s with their whole lives ahead of them, going in for a procedure they were told was routine and never walking back out. And in almost every single case, the families were left with no answers, no apology, and no accountability. The clinics go quiet, the doctors don't call, and the children are left asking why their mom isn't coming home. What's even more disturbing is that the danger doesn't always start in the operating room.
If you are thinking about getting any type of surgery that requires you to stay at a recovery house, such as lipo, a BBL, or anything like that, please do your research on these recovery homes. These two sisters went to get surgery together, and when they were at the recovery home, one of the sisters passed away. The sister is saying that Keela's recovery home gave her sister pills that were not prescribed to her. She even said when they asked Keela, the owner of the recovery home, where the sister pills were, that she said they were still at the pharmacy. If you're going to run a business like that and you have people's lives in your hands, you don't need to be taking no type of shortcuts. She let them know that she was concerned about her sister when her sister was just laying there, and it's like, oh, she's just tired, she just needs to get some rest. No, she knows her sister. She's laying right next to her sister and seeing that her sister has not moved in hours. And it would have been one thing if they showed some type of concern or even just checked on her, but it's like, y'all just gonna let her lay there? And then they paid y'all all this money and y'all have not gave this girl a refund. Y'all ignoring her, can't find an Instagram page. There are so many stories about people passing at the BBL, so you would think that if you own a recovery home or if you're working at a recovery home, you would be more attentive to your clients. There's no reason an hour should have went by and you didn't check on her. Like, you should at least offer her some food or something. So my advice to y'all is, if you plan on getting any type of surgery, take somebody that you know cares about you with you. Don't even stay at the recovery homes. And if you don't have nobody that care about you who can go with you, you just don't need to be going right now.
So now we're seeing a whole other layer to this. It's not just what happens on the table, it's what happens after. Those recovery homes are completely unregulated. No medical licensing, no oversight, no accountability. Women are paying thousands of dollars to recover in what are essentially hotel rooms run by people with zero medical training. And when something goes wrong, and as we just saw, it does go wrong. The response is to tell her she's just tired, she just needs rest. Hours go by, nobody checks, and by the time anyone takes it seriously, it's too late. But here's what I really need you to understand. The problem goes even deeper than bad recovery homes. Let's keep watching.
BBLs are still going out of control. Unfortunately, a woman lost her life in the Bronx to it. And now this woman that actually ministered the killer shots is going to serve 8 years, 4 to 8 years in prison for illegally injecting silicone in the butt of Walisa Castillo. Well, no, Walila Castillo is the one that was sentenced. It's hisbeautybydev from the Bronx. And her sister's really upset because she's saying 4 years is not enough because her sister did this with the same person twice before, but the third time was obviously the last time. Right. But this is still going on. This is something that happens all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
And I mean, I understand where the sister's, coming from. She's upset that her sister passed from an illegal butt injection, but at the same time, she's got to hold her sister accountable. Like, come on, you have to know some stuff you don't get off the street.
And this is where it gets even darker, because not all of these procedures are even happening in surgical centers. Some of these women are going to completely unlicensed people. No operating room, no anesthesiologist, no emergency equipment, just someone with a syringe and a price list. And the woman who administered those illegal silicone injections, she got 4 to 8 years. 4 years for taking someone's life. The family is devastated, and honestly, who could blame them? But the reality is these underground procedures are still happening right now, all over the country, because the demand never stopped.
Organs were removed during the BBL surgery. Kato Brown, the 38-year-old mother of 2, was the life of any room she entered. Known for her infectious humor and positive energy, she was the type of person who can light up the darkest moments. But Kato's story took a tragic turn when she traveled to Istanbul, Turkey for a cosmetic procedure that included a BBL, tummy tuck, and liposuction. Her goal was to boost her confidence and feel better about herself after gaining weight due to a broken ankle. And in March 26, 2024, Kato entered a place called a clinic expert for what she thought would be a routine surgery. But guys, just a few hours after the surgery, her sister Leanne, who accompanied her to Turkey, received some terrible news. The doctor told her that her sister was dead due to complications that arose during the surgery. But guys, the horror didn't end there. When Kato's body was returned to the UK, her family was devastated to find out the parts of her brain, lungs, and heart were missing. During the interview, Kato's family claimed that they legally couldn't do anything and that the clinic told them that they were allowed to take the organs and that there wasn't anything they can do about it. Also, when the clinic sent the death certificate to the family, they didn't put a cause of death for Kato. This is really sketchy, guys. A lot of people believe that the clinic took Kato's organs and sold them.
This starting to happen at a rapid pace, right? A lot of kids is losing their mothers that's going to get these surgeries and never making it back off that table. And it's like, before it wasn't that common because surgeries wasn't that popular. But once they got popular, you got the doctors who performing surgeries that's not licensed. You got the patients that they personal doctor tell them, yo, look, health-wise, you not clear and you might need to lose weight. But they so thirsty to get the surgery, they override their doctor, go find another thirsty doctor that just want the money, that knowing they not in the clear, but going to clear for the money, and then they're going to go get on that table and never make it back home to their kids. And this is sad. And I know a lot of females, we wasn't close, but I know of a lot of females from my area that went to go get their bodies done and never made it off that table. And they was mothers as well. Like this lady, this happened last year in Miami. Cause of Devilville for 28-year-old mom who died hours after BBL surgery in Miami. I guess they gave her some unsprescribed pills and she never woke up. And the shit is sad. And like I said, it's starting to happen rapidly. But, I understand females' vanity, whatever. They don't feel, they don't like themselves, or they want to do whatever to make themselves feel better. Cool. But it's the lie that the females be telling so many females. That's what the men want. That's what the men, y'all be chasing my, no, that's what we lust. Who's not going to lust big titties, big ass, rather it's fake or real? Who's not? A little kid, a dog might be like, that's just normal. Like, huh, jeez. You know what I'm saying? But men, you ask 100 men, 95% of the time, they not asking their wife, their spouse, their girl to go get their bodies done. They not. We could go to the gym, you gaining weight or whatever. Okay, let's go to the gym and get right. But if a man asking you to get your body done, 9 times out of 10 is a money play. You're going to strip, you're going to be a star tender, something. I'm investing in this body and your body is going to draw the money and we going to get money, you dig? But other than that, Nobody's asking they spouse to go do that. No, that's not happening. And a lot of these women, they use that as an excuse because they want to get their bodies done to compete with these women. But if you do the math, most of the women that got men on lock and got that ring, they got natural bodies. Say like, you know what I'm saying, stretch marks. But they got their man on lock and their man love them to death. And they going to get as much dick as they want. There's a lot of females running around here, natural, night touching nothing. And they getting as much dick as they desire. Not a problem. But the females who keep saying the men, that's what they want. No, it's just attention. Rather your shit real or fake, we knocking you down. But it's not saying that we gonna tell my wife or my spouse, or yo, go get your body done, man. You starting to look crazy. That we not doing that. Like, I don't know where, but this is sad that this is starting to happen a lot. A lot of kids is losing their mother to these tables.
The most dangerous, not only plastic surgery procedure, it's the most dangerous operation there is with the highest fatality rate. And I'll tell you why. You take fat from one part of your body, typically the abdomen, you process it, and you inject in the buttock. Sounds easy, right? The problem is there's these very small little veins in the buttock that lead directly to the vena cava, which is the major blood vessel that brings blood back from your body to your heart, to your lungs. If you get fat in those little vessels and it gets in the main vena cava and goes to your lungs, it's over.
Why are BBLs considered one of the most deadliest cosmetic procedures? Well, I'm Dr. Smita, board-certified plastic surgeon, and let me explain why. Number one, the demand for these procedures have exponentially grown over the past few years. Blame it on the Kim Kardashian effect. You can even say that it started way before that with the J-Lo effect, but the demand is so high and it's become such a lucrative part of our field that there are actually a lot of doctors and surgeons that are not board-certified plastic surgeons performing these procedures. That inherently adds a tremendous amount of risk. Number two, because of that, there are these surgeons and doctors that don't fully understand the underlying anatomy. And this is important because in the gluteal region, there are major blood vessels and nerves all within the muscle and the layers in between the muscle. Now, if someone doesn't understand that anatomy and they're injecting large volume fat, that fat can easily get into those blood vessels and cause emboli, meaning the fat travels to other parts of our body and can really cause significant issues. And number three, because the demand is so high, there are literally plastic surgery mills that just churn out these procedures. So there are these surgeons that are performing a huge number of these procedures per day. That can lead to surgeon exhaustion, and that essentially just leads to patients not getting the appropriate and adequate care that they deserve. So, in general, BBLs, if done safely by someone who truly understands the anatomy, who is board certified, can be a very safe procedure. However, unfortunately, that's not always the case.
Why is the mortality rate so high for BBL? Historically, BBLs were done in a very poor, unsafe manner. Doctors all over the world were putting the fat deep in the muscular plane or below the muscle where the vital veins live. And if fat was injected into one of these veins inadvertently, it could traverse back to the heart, the lungs, and cause death. But BBLs can be done very effectively and very safely if a doctor is properly trained and uses modern methods of doing Brazilian butt lifts. In this day and age, Brazilian butt lifts can be done in a very safe manner if the doctor chooses to utilize these safer methods. Very different than what methods were used for doing BBLs even 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Dr. Sessa, can BBLs be dangerous?
Yeah, so the answer to that question is yes. What is a BBL, first of all? So BBLs are, you do liposuction. So you suck fat out from the tummy, the thighs, wherever you can get it. Take that fat out, transfer that fat into and around the bottom to give it more volume, to give it more shape, and quite frankly, to just kind of blow it up a little bit. Two ways to do BBLs. One is where you go above the muscle, the gluteus maximus, and your skin. So you plant the fat in between the muscle and the skin. It's a possible way that you could do it. However, the results are limited. In order to get better results and get more of that sort of roundness to the bottom, which people want, surgeons started putting the fat into the muscle Fortunately, there are very large blood vessels there. Sometimes when you're putting that fat into those blood vessels, if you're careless, you can actually deposit some of that fat into the blood vessels, which will then travel up through the circulatory system and potentially lead to cardiovascular collapse. That can happen. BBLs are not particularly great surgeries if done very, very well, very high satisfaction. In the state of Florida, we have very strict rules now where the fat cannot be placed into the muscle. And also, if it's placed, it must be done under direct visualization using an ultrasound. Now that makes it a lot more safe. And these are new regulations that we passed in Florida to make it safe for people.
So here's 3 reasons why I don't do BBLs. 1, the trend is fading. Let's face it, not everybody wants to have that particular look anymore. 2, the operation still has a significant level of danger to it, which is not ideal. And 3, it might look all right in pants, but really when you do just have a look at it without any clothing, it's still not the best cosmetic outcome with dimpling and ridging and things like that. I don't think it's a particularly good look.
So now you're hearing it directly from the surgeons themselves. This isn't fear-mongering. This is board-certified doctors explaining the anatomy of why this procedure kills people. The fat goes into the wrong blood vessels, travels to the lungs, and it's over. There is no second chance, no emergency intervention that reliably saves you once that happens. And the scariest part of what those doctors just said is that a huge number of the people performing BBLs right now do not fully understand that anatomy. They're not trained plastic surgeons. They're not even board certified. They're just doctors, or sometimes not even doctors, who saw a lucrative market and jumped in.
Why did you choose to go to a Brazilian butt lift, popularly known as a BBL? What was the significance for you?
Yeah, I was just fixing my insecurities. I had some fear insecurities and I needed to fix those. If you have the money, you can go fix whatever you're insecure about.
I hate the grip that social media has on women's minds. I see a lot of videos of girls saying like, oh, it's so hard having a natural body out here when BBLs are taking over, It's not really like that. Like, yeah, on social media, they're getting a lot of attention. Maybe guys are sleeping with them, but nobody's marrying them. As a beautician, I can tell you what my clientele looks like. All of my clients with the natural bodies, the tiny women, and even women that are overweight, all of those clients are engaged or married. My clients who are curvy, got the BBL body, those are the ones that are single and struggling for a healthy, good relationship. So don't let social media fool you. You was pulling men with the body that you had before the BBL era happened, and you still will be. Like, get out your feelings. It's not as deep as you think that it is. Like, men not that crazy over BBLs how you think that they are. Y'all, the women are crazy over the BBLs. Men, like, it's cool. Yeah, they'll probably sleep with them, but they're not finna marry that. So just relax and love yourself. Like, you are enough. You don't need a BBL to secure a man, secure a relationship.
BBL era culture trend is coming to a motherfucking end. And if it ain't, it need to. Because the shit is just ridiculous. Now, don't get me wrong. Some bitches went to the right doctor that got their shit looking right. And even some of you bitches who shit did look right at first, you bitches want to continue to eat like a fucking pig. And now you got this small ass waist, this artificial ass booty, big ass arms, big ass face. Like, you just big everywhere except for in the waist. And like, that makes you look even more fake. I don't know if y'all get what I'm saying. Like, the bitches who in their 30s now, they got the BBLs when they was in their 20s, early 20s and shit, done set up here and gained all their motherfucking weight. Now they walking around like with a fat ass. And I just feel like as a whole, the girlies are starting to appreciate naturalness more. And back in the day, like, having a big butt didn't mean having a big, dumb, stupid ass booty. Like, Pam off Martin, they used to call her junk in the trunk because her ass was sitting up. It was firm, it was toned up, it was just the right amount of juicy. It wasn't all dramatic and shit. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like once like the 2010s hit, bitches just went bonkers with BBLs. And it's like, my God, like, ugh.
Crazy bodies, and most importantly, Jezebel spirits. Lost and don't even know it. I know because I was once her. Yep. I thought the body, the attention, the validation was the goal. And I didn't even see how lost I really was. That's why now I protect myself like never before. My boundaries are like Fort Knox. My peace, non-negotiable. My soul, untouchable. I only have time for God, my business, and growth. Period. No distractions, no chaos, no confusion, just purpose. I'm not here to shame. I'm just here to warn. That spirit, that lifestyle, it looks good, but it drains you. It steals from you. It blinds you. So if you see me quiet, focused, unavailable, know this. I've been there before. I've been her. But I'm never going back. Protecting my soul is the new glow up.
And this is the part of the conversation that doesn't get talked about enough, because behind every one of these surgeries is a woman who was told by social media, by culture, by the people in her comments that her natural body wasn't enough, that she needed to compete, that she needed to fix something that was never broken. And when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the women speaking out are saying the same thing. The surgery didn't bring what they thought it would. The attention it attracted wasn't the kind that built anything real, and for some of them, realizing that cost them far more than money. Now, let's talk about all of this properly, because there are a few things sitting in everything we just watched that I think need to be said clearly. First, the medical reality. BBL surgery has the highest death rate of any cosmetic procedure on the planet, and according to some surgeons, the highest fatality rate of any elective operation period. The reason is biology. When fat is harvested from the abdomen and injected into the buttocks, it has to go somewhere, and the gluteal region, the area around your backside, is packed with major blood vessels that connect directly to your heart and lungs. If fat gets into one of those vessels, it travels through your circulatory system and causes what's called a fat embolism. Your lungs shut down, your heart fails, and in most cases, by the time anyone realizes what's happening, there is nothing that can be done. For years, surgeons were injecting fat deep into the muscle, right where those blood vessels live, because that's where you get the dramatic results patients were asking for: rounder, bigger, more projection. The results looked good, the death rate was catastrophic, and it took years of women dying before the industry started changing its guidelines. Florida, which became the BBL capital of the world, eventually passed regulations requiring that fat only be placed above the muscle and only under ultrasound guidance. Those regulations exist because so many women were unalive that the state had no choice but to act. Think about that for a second. The death toll was high enough that the government had to step in. What makes this even more dangerous is that BBLs became so popular and so profitable that the entire shadow industry grew up around them. Surgeons who aren't plastic surgeons started performing them. Clinics that aren't real medical facilities started offering them. Recovery homes with no licensing, no medical staff, and no emergency protocols started operating as if they were legitimate post-operative care centers. And all of it is connected. In some cases, the same doctors who perform the surgery on the recovery home they send you to, the same people profiting from the procedures are profiting from your aftercare. And when something goes wrong, as we saw, those same people go completely silent. The case of Janisha Williams is one of the most chilling examples of this. A 26-year-old mother of two traveled to a surgery center in Florida for a breast augmentation under BBL. Her mother was in the waiting room the entire time, asking for updates and being told everything was fine, while her daughter was already in crisis. Jayla never woke up from the anesthesia, and the reason? The person who administered that anesthesia wasn't an anesthesiologist. She was an OBGYN who had been restricted from practicing her own specialty from an unrelated complaint, had taken some courses in anesthesiology, and was listed on the center's records not as an anesthesia provider but as recovery personnel. This woman's life ended because a surgery center cut corners on one of the most critical roles in any operating room, and nobody from that center ever called Jayla's family to say they were sorry. This is the part that should make everyone angry. In the cases we looked at today, women paralyzed, women dead, families destroyed. The consequences for the people responsible have been almost non-existent. Clinics don't respond to media requests. Doctors don't lose their licenses. Recovery home owners vanish off Instagram. The woman who illegally injected silicone into someone's body and killed them got 4 to 8 years and will likely serve 4. A 22-year-old mother of a newborn is gone forever, and the doctor who put her on that table faced no consequences her family is even aware of. There is a massive accountability gap in this industry, and it is costing women their lives. A lot of these women are making this decision because of a lie they've been told. The lie that a certain body type will get them love, security, male attention, a relationship. And what the women speaking out in these clips are saying, the beautician, the woman who got the surgery herself, the woman who talked about protecting her soul, is that the lie doesn't deliver. The attention it brings is not the attention that builds a life. The men who are loudest about wanting that body type are not the men who are showing up as partners and fathers and husbands. And the women who are in healthy, committed relationships, by and large, are not the women who went under the knife to get there. That's not a moral judgment. That's just what the women who lived it are saying. The pressure to alter your body to compete in a social media landscape is real. The insecurity that drives women to a surgical table is real, but so is the death rate. So are the unlicensed practitioners. So are the unregulated recovery homes. And so are the children who are growing up without their mothers because nobody told them the full truth before they booked that appointment.
Do you think men prefer a natural body or a BBL? BBL. 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 Do you prefer natural bodies or BBL bodies? Natural. 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 Natural.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Creators' handles are in the description box below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.